Hello. Can everyone in the back hear us? Okay. How's everyone doing? How many of you have been to the 99th floor of the Sky Deck? I have, and I still got lost. Forgot it took 3 elevators to get up here. It is such an honor and a joy to see so many of familiar faces from last fall, last spring, and this last summer, as well as our. Can you turn that off? Got a little iPad up here. Up here with us in the same room. What feels like on top of the city. How lucky are we? And in addition to celebrating our students tonight with your loved ones, your partners, parents, your kids, we want you to meet some of the organizations like CPD, CFD, ISP, the Sheriff's Office, OEMC, the private ambulances, Event Medical Solutions. They're all here for you. And those organizations help keep our city running smoothly. And some of you might, if not already, could work for them, right? And Marty will probably have some words about what else we can do to maybe bring some healing to our city as well. But to give everyone else in the room perspective, people that didn't go through our program, our fall and spring class is about 20 weeks long, and we meet twice a week. One of those is online, a 4-hour online session, and then an in-person 3-hour session once a week. And to be honest, I think Marty as well, personally prefer this dynamic where our students have about 1 week to digest the material. And the class that just wrapped up, our summer class, is accelerated, and it's something that we're going to be extra transparent moving forward, because I think it caught a lot of students off guard. There were some weeks where the students might have had to go through 2 lectures and 2 labs. So that's 2 4-hour lectures and 2 3-hour labs in 1 week. And I know we say it on day 1, but we don't expect our students to make this class a priority. There is so much other stuff in your personal life going on, whether it's kids, work, whatever it is. Every class, unfortunately, there's like a death in the family, people get sick, car breaks down, kids have to, life is lifing. And so for those of you that made it, for those of you that are here, we want to celebrate you all right? And we want to help you make an informed decision on what you could possibly do with your EMT license, all right? So without further ado, I'll let Marty get the mic.
You know, I promised everybody that you would have an opportunity to meet me as a real human being instead of just being behind a screen. You know, I even joked around that maybe what you would have saw here was Victor rolling out a screen and I would just be talking on that screen. But I assure you I'm not artificial intelligence. But if I were, I would tell you I wasn't artificial intelligence. So I might be a, some sort of cyborg, but I promise physically I am here right now. Victor and I like to do something special for our graduating classes, and it's pretty special. It's when Victor told me that he wanted to do it at the Sears Tower, I'm like, I graduated from EMT school in a church basement that served lukewarm coffee and some sheet cake from Costco, I believe. So this is a step up. But I think in part, Victor and I really value the product we created, but more so than that, we value all of you. You know, I'd like to say, and I said this on our podcast recently, that people are trading their time to become something. So, people are trading, hours in a day, hours in a week, hours in a month to become an EMT. And that's not lost on us. It's not lost on us that there are other places that you can get EMT training. It's not lost on us that you guys, as Victor said, have personal lives in which require you just to be present and be there. You have jobs, but everyone made a sacrifice to be here, and it is a sacrifice. There is a sacrifice in your success in being here. You are, in that same vein, I also want to kind of extend a round of applause for all the family members, kids, wives, parents, significant others who kind of understood that their family members, their significant others, their friends, were spending time away from them to become an EMT. So I want to give all of you a round of applause. EMS, becoming an EMT is a crash course. I think a lot of people, when they become EMTs, they're not really sure what that means. They know they work on an ambulance, they pick up patients who are sick and drive them to the hospital. But one of the things I like to say in perspective of to someone who doesn't know really what an EMT does is they render care at the emergency department. EMS is bringing that care to your bedside. It's a highly specialized, highly trained profession, and it doesn't always get the respect it deserves. We're struggling kind of on a national level for recruitment of EMS. This is a field that so desperately needs you, and not just EMS, healthcare in general is a field that so desperately needs you. A lot of people, are choosing to work remotely, work from home, become bankers, get into business. You're choosing a career that is dirty, hard, and dangerous. But you are motivated by something greater than just money, something greater than fame and fortune. There's an intrinsic motivation to be what you are, and that is awe-inspiring. That this many people here want to help their communities. They want to help people who are scared, people who are sick. One thing I say is that yes, we're treating people, we're helping people who are sick, injured, scared, but we're also chaperoning them through quite potentially the most difficult time in their life. In EMS, as me as a paramedic, I understand that when I get a patient, I'm not always going to completely fix that problem. But I could be there for that person and sometimes just hold their hand and saying, we're here, we're getting you to the hospital. We're getting you to somewhere that can help you. So Victor and I really truly do want to recognize all of you for all the sacrifices you had made to be here today and to look forward to the future. We are very lucky in Chicago area, Illinois area. This is some of the highest paid EMS professionals in the country come from here. This is a career. This isn't just some volunteer thing you do on the weekends. This is a job. And I really encourage you guys that if you are interested in pursuing a career of EMS, do it because it needs you. And it could be a deeply rewarding career, both from just intrinsic motivation, but it can be financially worth your while as well. And again, as I said, this is kind of a job where you can truly make a difference and help people. So thank you all for being here. We're going to move forward with the ceremony.
I recently read a quote that I've been sharing with our fall class. It might have been said by a gentleman by the name of Naval Ravikant, but it goes, desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. But that takes a certain amount of self-awareness on your part to examine what you really want out of this life. And so I hope you do some time doing that. That's something that I probably didn't do in my high school nor college years. And I just hope to share that with some of you. So we have two lovely guest speakers tonight. The first one is a husband, a father, a philanthropist, a physician. He has a 100% free asthma allergy clinic in the city. And at the moment, he's fighting food insecurity as a farmer by donating the majority of his crops to the food depository, which has a trickle-down effect into the pantries. Dr. Dave Nyak, you've become a friend over the year. It's such an honor to know you and see you grow. You're someone who just does the work. And I couldn't be prouder to have you here with us, sharing some wisdom with our group. Dr. Dave.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Come on. My name is Dr. Dave Nyak. Most people just call me Dr. Dave. I'm a medical doctor, as Victor said. I'm also a farmer, nonprofit founder too, as well. Most importantly, husband to my beautiful wife, Alicia. We have 2 great kids, Dave Jr. and Lily. We also have 3 young dogs at home too, as well. Like many of you, my home feels like a zoo as well. But I've been in Chicago for 20 years, and I have trained at many of the medical hospitals you all know of in the city here. And right now I'm focused on our nonprofit. It's called the Strength to Love Foundation. And we tackle 3 main issues, as you've heard. So we have a free clinic in the community here for everybody who's uninsured can come. That's a requirement too as well. I'm tackling food insecurity, so I'm feeding the hungry in our state. And we also combat gun violence too as well. But if you take anything away from me this evening, it's one thing. It's the importance of putting people first. Putting people first. So I feel truly honored to say a few words tonight, encouragement to the graduates too as well, who are graduating tonight of Chicago EMT. Before I get into the meat of my remarks, I firmly believe we have to give credit where credit is due. So let's give some recognition to the leadership of Chicago EMT, Victor and Marty. Let's give them a round of applause. So I've known Victor for quite some time now, and it's Marty and his hard work through teaching and training these EMT graduates have really made our communities here in Chicago and even in the suburbs safer and better for our community together. Secondly, I do want to take a moment for every graduate here tonight, turn to your left, your right, and to your partners, your spouses, your friends, or your family who are here. Give them a fist bump, give them a big hug. Honestly, these are the people that have stood by you on this journey to becoming an EMT. And look, it's a journey that's just beginning for all of you. Kid, take it in, keep going, that's fine, yeah. You know, this journey is just beginning for all of you. And I want the graduates to take a moment to look around now, because the people that are around you here this evening and even in the back, during the times when you can actually talk to other EMTs and leadership, they're your peers now. And they're also your teachers too as well. Look, I've sat in the very same seats that you are sitting in tonight. Maybe not on the 99th floor of the Sears Tower, but I figuratively have sit in that same seat as you. And I remember being very excited, very, very excited, more relieved too that I passed my exams and finished all of my medical education. But if I'm really honest with you, I was very nervous. I was nervous because I was going to be going out in the world, take what I've learned, and then provide this care to people. You know, I never want you to forget why you became an ENT. You know, at its core, you all have really chosen to help your fellow neighbors. And when you help your fellow neighbor, it involves risk. It involves a lot of risk, immense risk. And I understand the risks that you are about to take pursuing a career in helping others. Look, I understand the sacrifices you have made and the sacrifices you're gonna make. Those 36-hour shifts, running codes when you're sleep deprived. I understand what it's like to make extra cash on the side moonlighting so you can get to put your children in daycare. I understand those sacrifices. But let me tell you this, I have found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. So over the course of the time when you guys are trying to find jobs and careers, I'm sure people have come up to you and said, hey, make sure you have something to fall back on. You're choosing another job. Hey, make sure you have something to fall back on. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never understood that concept. Having something to fall back on. See, if I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. Fall forward. So at least I know I'm making some progress, right? All right, Reggie Jackson. Raise your hand if you know Reggie Jackson. Look, Reggie Jackson is my favorite baseball player. Okay? One of the greatest of all time in the Hall of Fame. Did you know Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times, which is the most in the history of baseball? But nobody remembers Reggie Jackson's strikeouts. They only remember Mr. October, the guy who hit the home runs in the World Series to win. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 consecutive experiments that failed. Do you know that? I didn't know that. And on the 1,001st, he invented the light bulb. You fall forward. This last year, I ran for Illinois State Senate on the northwest side of Chicago. We had a gritty campaign. We took on the establishment. We took on the teachers union. We knocked on over 50,000 doors in our communities. It was over 9 months, a lot of hard work. We finished third out of 4 candidates. We got 15% of the vote. But what did I learn? What did I learn here? So every failed experiment is one step closer to success. So you only live once. You have to do what makes you happy. Do what makes you joyful. Take chances, but don't be afraid to fail. So my wife and Alicia and I, we dreamed so hard to bring free health care to people in our community who didn't have insurance. It was a tremendous passion of ours to give back to our community. And every step of the way, it was very, very challenging. So where would we open the clinic? Would patients even come? Who would we even partner with to get this up and running? Then one day we were walking along, we found an empty space, literally like a concrete box with rats in it. But fortunately, it was selling for 20 cents on the dollar. We went back home, we talked through the budget, and we literally looked at each other and said, should we really spend our children's college fund on buying this to set up our foundation? There's this old saying, you never see a hearse pulling a U-Haul. You never see a hearse pulling a U-Haul. You can't take your possessions with you. So Alicia and I went for it. We built our foundation, we opened our clinic, and over the years we have cared for thousands in our community who don't have insurance. They've come to our clinic free of charge and they've had some great outcomes. Our foundation's actually grown too. We've had the wonderful opportunity to pursue written and passing legislation in our Illinois Congress that's really impacted our community. For example, my Murdered Child Funeral and Burial Assistance Act. It was signed by the governor 2 years ago. It has helped a number of families being able to achieve financial assistance after their child has been murdered in our community by gun violence. We have a farm too, as Victor said. Yes, I am a farmer. I'm from downstate too. We are one of the largest growers of sweet corn in the state of Illinois. And through our hunger initiative, we've been able to take our specialty crops and donate them directly to the food banks. We fed over 1.3 Illinoisans who are hungry today. Look, if you're waiting to catch a break, I promise you will catch one. If you hang around the barbershop long enough, somebody's going to give you a haircut. Look, your community needs you. It's not going to be easy. It won't be. If it were easy, there would be no Victor Chan. If it were easy, there'd be no Chicago EMT. If it was easy, there'd be no Strength to Love Foundation. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this twerk generation that we're living in right now, remember this. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. So my mom, she used to bark at me, David, you can run in place for hours upon end, but you're never gonna get a few feet in front of you. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. But as I said before in the beginning of my talk here, don't forget to thank people. Thank those around you who've been along the way for your journey. Say thank you to your dad for understanding. Say thanks to your mom for her kindness. Thanks to your spouse or your partner for their mercy. Say thank you to your brothers, your sisters for humility. Thank you for your peace. Thank you for your love. Say thank you in advance to what's already yours. So claim it, work hard to get it, and when you do get it, make sure you pull somebody from behind you on up with you. So again, I'll leave you with this. Put people first. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep moving forward. I'll see you at work tomorrow.
Our second guest, I had the pleasure of meeting our second guest when Chicago EMT training was first established, almost 3 years ago. And she has been a large champion, a huge champion for our program, as far as amongst other large organizations in the city. And I've had the pleasure of working various career fairs with her, hearing about the highs and lows of the industry. And this is a chief who spent more than 4 decades of her life in emergency medicine. And I want her here to share some of that wisdom with you all. So give it up for Chief Deborah Summer.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, congratulations to all of you who are graduating this evening. Second of all, please make sure you thank your families. The sacrifices that your family will make as you start your career and your journey in EMS, no one could ever ask their spouses, their families to support them more. It is a lot to be a first responder. As Victor said, I have been, for the better part of 40 years, a first responder. I come from a first responder family. Had no desire to be a firefighter. Y'all can keep the fire. But when I started as an EMT, it was in 1981, and I tell this story for the ladies to hear this. I wanted to become an athletic trainer, and in 1981, women were not allowed to become athletic trainers. I could be a PE teacher, but until Title VII was enacted, that was not an option for me. And I didn't want to be a PE teacher. I wanted to be an athletic trainer. So my academic advisor said, well, this new career is out there. It's called emergency medical technician. And I thought, cool. MASH. I grew up watching MASH and Emergency, and then in the 80s and 90s, China Beach. So I was all into it. And I am an adrenaline junkie, no doubt about it. I want to be there when the action happens. 43 years later, it has been a phenomenal career. When I talk to young people, middle-aged people, people who are in their 40s now are looking for a different direction on where to go with their skills. Everything you put into EMS, you will get back tenfold, I promise you. You may miss some birthdays, you may miss some holidays. Christmas in my house is celebrated on the shift that I come off duty. Okay, it's never on December 25th. But one of the things I like to explain to people is, yes, it is a job, it is a career. You have to really want to help people. The money is great, no doubt about it, especially when you're involved with an organization that has collective bargaining agreements. Ladies, as I have said to a few of them earlier this evening, there is no gender disparity in pay when you work in EMS and in fire. Okay? You make what your male counterparts make, which lifts you up. All right? But one of the things, I was always very athletic, believe it or not. This is the corned beef on Saturday and pizza. I always was involved with teamwork, sports, things like that. And so I always wanted to be there to help people, and I couldn't find my footing the way I really wanted to go forward. So this looked like an opportunity for me, and I decided to take it. I left college, and I never went back. I joined the fire department 4.5 years later. I have been with them for 35 years. Next year is my last year, so I am leaving EMS. But one of the things I try to impart to the younger generation as they're coming through, you will experience things in your career that you can't buy in a store, that you can't see in the movie theater. When you deliver your first child, your hands are the ones that bring them into the world. It is your voice that welcomes them. Conversely, at the end of life, it is your hand holding them as they leave. And it is your voice as they call out that they will remember, and that their family will remember that you showed that kindness, that compassion. The world can be a tough place. We all see it, we all know it, right? The joy of this job is you're with them for 20 minutes and then you drop them off, okay? But you might see the same person over and over again, all right? And that is what tests your patience. It can be difficult, but at the end of the day, I know when I go home and I put my head on my pillow that I gave my patients and my community the best that I could offer them. It's a tough slog. It's not easy. I will tell you that one knee replacement and the other one's on the way, but that is 43 years of work. And I couldn't be prouder of the trajectory of my career, where I'm at, going out talking to young people. I've worked everywhere in this city, everywhere, but I never went back to my own neighborhood. I worked at Robert Taylor Homes, I worked at Cabrini Green, all those places that are not there any longer. So when people say, oh, I don't know if I should move into the city, I have born and raised here and I will not leave here. Okay, this is the greatest city in the world. It's the greatest fire department to work for. Of course, I want all of you to go to paramedic school and come see me so I can get you on our fire department. But as the first speaker, Dr. Dave, alluded to, and Victor has as well, we are in a national crisis for paramedics. The model that was created in the 1960s by Lyndon Johnson, all of you did your EMS history, I know you know about that white paper, okay? And then thanking Richard Nixon for the EMS Act and creating the 911 system, that model was transport only. EMS has evolved to so many different areas of the workforce. You can be a paramedic at Ford Assembly Plant at 130th and Torrance. You can work at Wrigley. You can even work for the Bears if you like. If you like, okay? But the bottom line is we are desperate for paramedics. COVID did take its toll on us, number one. And we are starting to age out. 63 is enough. I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. And it's been a phenomenal career. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And I was told from the get-go by my parents, no, you can't do that. No, it's not for you. Watch, okay? Do not doubt yourselves for where you can go with this EMT license. I would go to paramedic school as quickly as you possibly can. Your country needs you. Your communities need you. Your city needs you. Your workforce needs you. Whatever that capacity is, whether you're doing alternative response for mental health, you're working in mobile integrated health, you're working in the emergency room, you could work for the Bears if you like, okay? Even just for Park District, in case you all didn't know, the Park District is going to be bringing back their EMT program. The best job I ever had was at 12th Street Beach as a paramedic. That's where my daughter spent the first 6 summers of her life, okay? There are paramedic jobs everywhere. And yes, the fire service does need paramedics. You will look at the advertisement page, firefighter, paramedic, firefighter, paramedic. The East Coast, $40,000 signing bonus. California, $40,000 signing bonus. The journey that you are starting on today is going to take you places that you never dreamed of. And it will not be linear. It won't be from point A to point B. Run with it. Go wherever you can with it and enjoy it. It goes by quick. I will tell you that. It goes by very, very quick. So, with that said, congratulations to all of you. Really, this is the first part of your journey. When I went to paramedic school, EMT school, it was 80 hours. Paramedic school was only 1,500 hours. It's almost 2,500 hours now. So you're really learning a lot more than when we first started. But remember what we first started with. It was the same bags that the Vietnam vets carried. We learned how to do tourniquets and quick clot and all of that stuff from the vets. So give yourself some time, rest a minute, think about it, decide really what drives you in your EMS career. Where are you going to go with it? It can be a stop to PA school, to nursing school, which a lot of medics end up becoming nurses and doing all kinds of things in a hospital setting or doctor's office or wherever it may be. But I will ask you again, as you celebrate this evening, take some time and reflect and see where you want to go with that EMT license. Wherever it takes you is where you're going to find your most joy. And that is what the job is all about. I've had 35 years of unbelievable fun, okay? And it's been great. So congratulations to you all again. Have a great evening, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Okay, actual ceremony part now. Let's start. Can we have the graduates line up on that side of the wall, and all of our instructors on the window side? All right. Let's kick it off. Ashley Gottlieb. I saw Ashley somewhere. Ashley Gottlieb. Is she coming? She coming? She's coming! Woo! Miriam Dweadar. Woo! Thanks, Ashley. Matthew Tieran. Martina Bianchi. Melissa Kraft. Not sure if she's coming. Melissa's coming, not coming? Melissa Rizzo. Mia Gonzalez. Michelle Sherleen. Molly Ensler. Monaf Haq. Molly's coming. Yeah, she's coming. Moof Adaprawala. Mohammed Rajba. Nathan Minabat. Nazila Muhammad. Nicholas Swedberg. Congrats, buddy. Omar Loya. Ola Layevska. Sorry, buddy. Rachel Wynn. Congrats, Ola. I don't see it. It's Rachel. Riva Srivastava. Sal Morgan. Selena Hess. Roy Liu. Roy! Congrats, Selena. Shazia Haja. Shep Heaton. Shep, by the way, is our last class valedictorian. Damn, 98%.
We should say, actually, Shep earned the highest grade that I've ever had while teaching EMT. I've instructed probably about 2,200 students. Shep has the highest grade of them all.
Sonam Khanna. Sophia Falk. Taha Gaber. Tiffany Slaughter. Woo! Vanessa Frisola. Zane Sheikh. Zaran Faye. Abidarab Mitawala. Adeshawa Ogansusi. Alexander Lee. Allison Tang. Alyssa Whitaker. Fun fact, Alyssa was the bartender at our last graduation. Andrew Davis. Angel Jimenez. Angel Lopez. Anna Ruiz. She might not. Angelo Ricarte. Arnold Aguilar. Atzidi Guadarrama. Augusta Gund. Avondre Brown. Ben Bryan. This next student, in the last class, she made a grade calculator within Google spreadsheets so other students can calculate what they need to get to pass the class. We are forever grateful. Bianca Serafica. Congrats, Bianca. Cesar Urrutia. Chelsea Flores. Delicia Gray. Edith Patino. Iram Fatima. Eric Che. Oh, I love that. Eden Strong. Esther Kim. Evelyn Huizar. Falak Chowdhury. Congrats, Esther. Henry Flesh. Jack Owens. Jacqueline Ramirez. Jalen Aguilar. Jared Jankowski. Jace May. Jandre Kruger. John Ressener. Jordan Hodes. Jordan Huang. Jose Ramirez. Jude Hollenbeck. Julio Diaz. Kian Boyd. Kevin Kiros. No Kevin? No Kevin. Lisa Gallo. Madeline Obersitz. Madison Fraser. Royce Robinson. And that concludes the ceremony. So for a quick big thank yous, thank you to this venue, Skydeck Chicago. Thank you to catering. Thank you to our photo and video team, Neil Sy, Rick Hernandez. And as always, if you look on the window side, look at how many instructors we have. Our instructors span from EMTs, paramedics, ER techs, firefighters, nurses, PAs, medical students, and sometimes physicians. And I really hope I want our students to see themselves in our instructors. And I think we're always reaching for that, and I think we've met some of that. So I could not be prouder of the program that we've built, but we wouldn't be able to do this without you all, without the students, and without the family and friends that are backing our students, right? So for the rest of the evening, I really want you to think about where you might want to be in the next 5 years. We have some amazing organizations that are ready to meet you and see how we can work together. But other than that, mingle with the people that you were in class with or people that you weren't in class with, and just catch up with our instructors, with us. Grab some photos from Neil, some videos with Rick. Just have a good time. We're on the top of the city. How often can we be up here, right? You want to say anything?
Again, I want to thank everybody for being here today, and I really do want you guys to relish in all that you achieved in becoming an EMT, and currently some of you working as an EMT. It's a great accomplishment, and as our guest speaker said, you are a vital part of the community, and without you, we'd be in big trouble. So thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. And thank Victor for planning this up here, because I wanted to do it in my backyard.